Good afternoon, or welcome to The Word at Noon. My name is Remy Allen. President Muhammadu Buhari, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, and the 44 ministers in the Federal Executive Council will soon start declaring their assets ahead of the May 29 when their tenure will end. The Special Advisor to the CCB Chairman on General Duties, Dr. Mustapha Musa, said necessary arrangements had been made for the issuance of the asset forms to the outgoing officials and their successors. Also, the outgoing presidential aides, 28 state governors and their cabinet members, National Assembly and State Assembly members, and local government chairmen will equally obtain their assets declaration forms from the Code of Conduct Bureau and submit the same to the CCB in line with the 1999 Constitution. This complies with the provision of the Constitution which stipulates that all public officers shall declare their assets and liabilities on the assumption of office and at the end of their tenure of office. However, the President-elect Bola Tinubu, the Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima, and 28 incoming governors and their cabinet members, as well as the State Assembly members, have 3 months to submit their assets forms to the CCB. They are also required to state all properties and assets required within or outside the country with the value of the said assets in the currency of the country where the property is situated. In the bid to strengthen public confidence in the media, the Nigerian media will today inaugurate a 9-member board of the National Media Complaints Commission, NMCC, otherwise known as the National Ombudsman. Members of the commission are drawn from the media, the bar, the academia, and civil society. A statement by Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria, NPMAN, President Kabiru Yusuf, the inauguration is a major step by the industry to strengthen public confidence in the media through prompt resolution of issues bordering on ethical breaches in media content. The statement said the Commission will serve as an independent forum for resolving complaints about the press quickly, fairly, and free of charge, maintain high standards of Nigerian journalism and journalistic ethics, and defend the freedom of the press and the rights of the people to know. Donald Trump is expected to fly to New York today for his historic arraignment on criminal charges, taking the United States and the office of the presidency into uncharted and potentially volatile territory. The 76-year-old billionaire was indicted last week by a grand jury on a series of counts related to a hush money payment made to an adult film star during the 2016 election campaign. The Republican Party provocator, who has already started a 2014 White House bid, is the first sitting or former U.S. president ever charged with a crime. As part of his arrangement scheduled for Tuesday afternoon, he will undergo the standard booking procedure of being fingerprinted and photographed, likely to result in one of the most famous mugshots of the modern era. Finland's main conservative party has claimed victory in a tightly fought parliamentary election. With all of the votes counted, the center-right National Coalition Party came out on top at 20.8%. They were followed by the right-wing Populist Party. The Finns at 20.1%, while Prime Minister Sanna Marin Social Democrats garnered 19.9%.
I'm very happy because these results it's very strong, and we have very good campaign, and I think that in election day today we have got more votes, and I'm quite sure that we can keep our lead.
For me, I'm burdened by the economics. Actually, we take too much debt, I think. I wish we would have a welfare state still in 20 years' time, but with the current expenditures and debt taking, I'm worried about how we can afford the welfare state. in the future.
I know Sanna Marit is very popular and she's done great. Most of the Finns also think that she did an amazing job with the coronavirus, but maybe we have to look at new crises that we have. And some of us still believe that she does a very good job, but other people want something new.
Thousands of disabled Ukrainians have been institutionalized since the start of the war. Many of the Soviet-era facilities provide patients with minimal comforts and little freedom. There are concerns Ukraine's efforts before the war to reform social services have been set back years. Odnaya Sawyer reports.
It looks like a prison exercise yard, but these men are mental health patients, captives of a different sort in the prison of the mind. They are looked after here with great care, along with the elderly and those with disabilities. Together, they make up one of Ukraine's many worsening wartime crises.
The scale is shocking, and there will be even more as psychologically damaged men return from the war.
Marina was in charge when Russian soldiers heading for Kiev surrounded the facility in February last year.
It affected them a lot. Almost every day now we take some of our boys for psychiatric treatment to support their emotional state. Some have become more aggressive after what they went through.
There was gunfire and explosions. 12 local people were killed, including 4 of our residents. The horror of it deepened the trauma, and there have been other changes. Newcomers from areas near the front lines, like Alina, who arrived here with her mother from occupied eastern Ukraine. Homeless and without relatives to care for them, it is estimated that more than 4,000 elderly Ukrainians with disabilities have ended up in state-run institutions that barely have the resources to cope.
This institution is one of the best in the Kyiv region, and you can imagine what they're like in the east, more than 800 kilometers away.
Soviet-era institutions like this were often built in remote locations deliberately to keep disabilities hidden, which is partly why this one fell in the path of the Russian invasion. Now a sector that had been modernizing before the war has been set back and is under extreme pressure. Olena stayed on to care for residents as Russian soldiers set up firing positions outside. They put mortars and ground rocket systems in the field. Over there, she explains.
There is currently a great need for these facilities for people who lost their homes, their loved ones, left alone with their problems. Who will help them except organizations like ours?
The sound of a piano brings welcome cheer. Alex has been a resident here for 4 years. When the Russians came, a friend told him to run, and so he did, returning as soon as they had left to the care that now is in high demand but short supply. Odnaya Sawyer, Osrc News.
Meanwhile, the killing of Russian military blogger Vladimir Tatarsky is being investigated as a high-profile murder. Tatarsky, a vocal supporter of the Russian war in Ukraine, died in an explosion at a St. Petersburg cafe on Sunday. The health ministry said 24 others were taken to hospital and 6 were in critical condition.
Everything exploded and there was smoke. It was like a slow motion movie. We were seated in the back half of the hall. Everyone started to run. Those who were near had blood all over them.
He had a complicated history. He was very pro-Russian state until very recently. And very recently Tatarsky was speaking out against Russian military strategy and had been recently somewhat critical of it, according to news reports.
It was an attack in the second largest city in Russia, and I would believe that the security forces will try to do everything in their power to bring just someone to justice and to create the sense that the case has been solved.
Port Preston International School will take on St. Louis Girls Grammar School Akure in the female final of Ondo State Secondary School Basketball Championships. In the male category, Preston will battle Oyemekun Grammar School, Akure. Both finals are fixed for the Ondo State Sports Complex, Akure, on Tuesday. To get to the female final, St. Louis defeated Stella Maris College, Okitipupa, while Preston College defeated Impact College in the semi-finals. Preston eliminated Stella Maris College, Okitipupa, just as Oyemekun shut out Aquinas College, Akure, in the male event. And that ends Word at Noon. Thanks so much for watching. Good afternoon.